Imagine Moscow, 1918. The grand promises of the Russian Revolution have dissolved into a bitter, chaotic reality. The city is a powder keg of hunger, fear, and political turmoil. The Bolsheviks, led by Vladimir Lenin, have seized power, but their grip is far from secure. Civil war rages across the vast Russian expanse, and within the capital itself, dissent simmers just beneath the surface. It's a time when ideals clash violently with reality, and the future of a nation hangs precariously in the balance. This is the world that shaped Fanny Kaplan, a woman whose name would become forever linked with one of the most audacious acts of defiance in modern history. Who was Fanny Kaplan? To understand her, you have to understand the splintered heart of the revolution itself. She wasn't a counter-revolutionary monarchist clinging to the old world. Far from it. Kaplan was a lifelong revolutionary, a member of the Socialist Revolutionary Party, or the SRs. For years, she had risked everything for the cause, enduring imprisonment and exile under the Tsar. For her and many others like her, the revolution was supposed to be about freedom, democracy, and giving power to the people through a constituent assembly. But when the Bolsheviks forcibly disbanded that very assembly in January 1918, Kaplan saw it as the ultimate betrayal. In her eyes, Lenin wasn't a savior. He was a usurper, a man who had hijacked the revolution for his own party's absolute power. He had betrayed the very ideals she had fought for. This deep-seated sense of betrayal fueled a desperate resolve. If the revolution was to be saved, she believed, its greatest enemy had to be removed. And for Fanny Kaplan, that enemy was Vladimir Lenin. Her conviction hardened into a plan to assassinate the leader of the Bolsheviks. The fateful day was August 30th, 1918. The air in Moscow was thick with the late summer heat and the palpable tension of a city at war with itself. Lenin, despite the obvious dangers, maintained a busy schedule of public appearances, keen to project an image of control and confidence. That evening, he was scheduled to speak to the workers at the Michelson factory, a massive industrial plant in the south of the city. For Kaplan, this was the opportunity she had been waiting for. She made her way to the factory, blending into the crowd of workers, her heart pounding with a mixture of fear and determination. She was armed with a Browning pistol, a small but deadly instrument she hoped would change the course of history. Inside the factory hall, the atmosphere was charged. Lenin delivered a fiery speech, his powerful voice echoing through the cavernous space, denouncing his enemies and rallying the workers to the Bolshevik cause. As he finished, the crowd surged around him, eager to ask questions or simply get a closer look at the man who held Russia's destiny in his hands. Lenin, ever the populist, engaged with the workers, delaying his departure. He eventually began to make his way out of the building and towards his car, which was waiting in the courtyard. The evening light was fading, casting long shadows across the dusty ground. This was the moment. As Lenin reached his car, just before he stepped inside, Kaplan pushed through the throng. The scene descended into chaos in a matter of seconds. 3 sharp cracks echoed through the courtyard, silencing the chattering crowd. Lenin stumbled and fell to the ground. Pandemonium erupted. People screamed, scattered, and ducked for cover. Lenin's driver and others rushed to his side. He was alive, but bleeding. One bullet had passed through his coat, another had struck him in the shoulder, and a third, the most dangerous, had lodged in his neck, perilously close to his carotid artery. In the confusion, Kaplan tried to melt back into the crowd, her mission seemingly accomplished. But she didn't get far. Witnesses pointed her out, a frantic, lone figure trying to escape the scene. She was quickly swarmed and arrested, the smoking gun still in her possession. The news of the assassination attempt spread like wildfire, sending shockwaves through Moscow and beyond. Lenin was rushed back to the Kremlin. Fearing another attempt, he refused to be taken to a public hospital. Instead, doctors were brought to his private apartment. They were astonished that he was still alive. The bullet in his neck was too risky to remove, and it would remain there for the rest of his life, a constant, painful reminder of that evening. His survival was hailed by the Bolsheviks as nothing short of a miracle, a sign that he was destined to lead the revolution. They immediately used the attack to their advantage, painting it as an act of counter-revolutionary terror that justified an iron-fisted response. The attempt on Lenin's life was the final trigger for a campaign of terror that had already been brewing. For Fanny Kaplan, the end came swiftly and without mercy. She was taken to the dreaded Lubyanka prison, the headquarters of the Cheka, the Bolshevik secret police. During her interrogation, she was defiant and resolute. She openly confessed to shooting Lenin, stating proudly, "I have been cherishing the idea of assassinating Lenin for a long time. In my eyes, he is a traitor to the revolution. She saw her act not as a crime, but as a duty. The Cheka interrogators pressed her relentlessly, desperate to uncover a wider conspiracy and force her to name accomplices. They wanted to link the attack to the SRs, to foreign powers, to anyone who could be used as a scapegoat. But Kaplan refused to break. She insisted, time and again, that she had acted entirely alone. Whether this was the truth, or an act of final loyalty to protect her comrades, we will never truly know. Her silence sealed her fate. There would be no public trial, no chance to explain her motives to the world. Just 4 days after the shooting, on September 3, 1918, Fanny Kaplan was taken to a courtyard within the Kremlin. Without ceremony or witness, she was executed. Her story was a tragic footnote in a much larger, bloodier chapter of history. The assassination attempt had a profound and terrible consequence. It gave the Bolsheviks the perfect pretext to unleash the Red Terror, a brutal wave of mass arrests and executions targeting anyone perceived as an enemy of the state. Thousands were killed. The dream of a free, socialist Russia, the dream for which Kaplan had lived and died, was drowned in a sea of blood. The single-minded act of one woman, meant to save the revolution, instead helped pave the way for its descent into one of the most ruthless dictatorships of the 20th century. Her story serves as a dark reminder of how the path to hell is so often paved with good intentions. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this dive into a pivotal moment of history interesting, please hit that like button and subscribe for more stories from the past. Let me know in the comments what you think about Fanny Kaplan's actions and their impact. See you in the next video.